Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings, and this is the Ben and Barry on Football show.
I'm Ben Dickerson, and we've got some commentary to.
Yeah. We've already put out a couple shows. Make sure you go back and visit benandbarryonfootball.com, which will take you to our YouTube page. We'll show you this because we're going to feature our social media in this particular segment. Something else I want to say about that. But long story short, make sure you go back and see that. And any commentary and any rants, because our rants are becoming infamous.
I don't know about a rant. Rant will probably come to me later, but let me just say this. He's got on his Niners attire, which is well-deserved. Ride them now while they're hot. I can't say too much about my Giants except for to welcome in the Daniel Jones era. Starts this weekend.
The Daniel Jones era has officially begun.
Yes.
You've
much more to say about that right now.
Well, you wanted Daniel Jones early on. And, I've had some conversations with some people, other Giants fans, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah, one of my business associates, is a Giants fan.
Okay.
And he was bemoaning the, sitting Eli now, he felt was disrespectful to Eli because they were going to do it, they should have done it. They didn't do it. They're not going anywhere. That was his thing. I didn't quite agree with everything he said, but I did question the execution of what's going on. In other words, you have Eli there. You've got a contract situation. You bring Daniel Jones in. Is it really going to make a difference, I guess? Didn't they see enough early on in the preseason to go ahead and come out with Daniel Jones?
To answer that question, I don't think Eli played so poorly that they felt it was necessary to start the season with Daniel Jones. The team is not good. The defense is really not good. They don't have a real, true number one receiver on this team. And Golden Tate suspended. So when he comes back, he ain't really a real number one either. Disrespectful to Eli by sitting him now. They should have done it before. When is before? Like, they should have announced it for game one. That they did sit him that one time. That other crazy coach they had, McAdoo, sat him down for no reason whatsoever, just because he was PO'd or something, and broke his streak of games without being injured. So you couldn't have done it last year. Or starting games. You couldn't do it last year because you didn't have a real backup. Who are you going to go to?
Well, let's say this much, and I did mention it, okay? When was it that Saquon Barkley was drafted? Now, this is the second year,
yes.
Right? During the draft, we termed Saquon Barkley, quote, the gift. And the reason that we did that was because we said that Saquon Barkley, getting him, was going to buy at least one more year, maybe two, for Eli and his contract. It would actually help Eli. So the gift was not so much to anybody else, but to Eli. We looked at it, or at least I did, looked at it as a gift to Eli. Look, we're going to bring this young guy down here. This should help you. This should help you play. This should help you continue out, your time with the Giants for at least a year, maybe 2 years. And he got into a second year. He got
into a second.
They
had no defense to speak of.
Well, but they had Saquon. As long as they had Saquon,
he can only do so much.
He got him to the second year. That's all we expected.
Get him to the second year. They didn't have anybody else to go to. He would have been a wonderful gift if their brass had done their homework and brought in better players instead of letting the good veteran players they had go.
But the point is, they didn't go get a quarterback when they could have. They went and got Barkley instead, which gave Eli.
Which I have no problem with.
Which gave Eli that extra time.
Nothing. Right. If they had drafted me you could call me the gift. He'd still be sitting down this weekend in favor of Daniel Jones. It was only a matter of time. It got him a year, not because of Barkley. It got him a year because they got Barkley instead of another quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Right there.
That's not what you're saying.
But
go ahead.
All right, so let's go to the social media real quick. As I said, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I do produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings. You will find them on Facebook at Sterling NPPR, where you'll find our rankings. You'll find what we call the bias, which is what we use when we have our matchup show, and we have our rankings in here. For example, is your top 5. It actually includes a 6 in this particular case because there was a tie for 5 in terms of net points. Patriots looking strong, Ravens looking strong, Niners surprisingly strong, Chiefs right up there, Titans up there, and the Cowboys are really showing that they want to be competitive this year. So it's looking good for the Cowboys right now. Next, we want to move into Ben and Barry on football at BNBOF on Facebook, where we try to post good stuff. We talk about fantasy. We talk about Madden. Then I had to show this video real quick because I'm playing, the Texans in Madden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing pretty good, but every once in a while, this is what he would do to me on Madden. Let's see if we can roll this.
Gets it at the 6-yard line. And now Watson from his end zone, and he wants it all. And Will Fuller. They knew they were going to get man-to-man coverage. Eli Apple on Will Fuller. Deep grit, and he just...
That's a heck of a catch.
So that really happened.
That really happened.
And it happened to you in Madden.
I'm telling you.
So we have life imitating art.
Art imitating life, or life imitating art, something of that nature. Also, visit us at our Twitter account at BNB on football. One of the things we're very proud of is we have a pretty good list of followers, a list that we're following, and a pretty small list of followers. So let's get that list up. But when you look at who we're following, it's a who's who in the world of football. Ronnie Lott, moment of silence. You gotta love that guy. So, and the great thing, what I like about Twitter is that you can literally communicate with these people. You can tweet something to them. In many cases, they will respond. Yeah, and it's almost surprising. So it's one of the great things I like about Twitter. And follow us at Ben and Barry on football, at BNB on football on Twitter. Also, we kind of recently got into it on Instagram. So we're sharing our information now on Instagram. You can follow us there at BNBOF. And you have our link, which will take you to the YouTube channel. And this is where everything goes. This video will be up on YouTube sometime between tonight and tomorrow, before tomorrow's game, Thursday night game. Try to, get all of this information out so that people, can follow the net point rankings, can form some great opinions, some good information, maybe get their fantasy thing together, with some of the information, some of the gems that you drop about fantasy. So tune into that right there. So Ben, we talked about my Niners. Just so, very almost surprised that, I'm even a bit surprised at how well they played.
I'm not.
Okay. He likes to say that. Go ahead and say it. You follow my team.
I follow your team more than you.
You follow your team. But when
I told you early. I told you when Shanahan first got there, watch out, here it comes.
Hey, we shall see. It's a tough division, though. It's a tough division. And what makes it so bad?
It takes time, but
my sleeper team is in my division, the Seahawks. The guy that I wanted, DK Metcalf, is starting to show.
Oh, he's playing well, by the way. I got to give you props for that. Now, that's something that you told me early on that seems to be coming true. However, I think you was just kind of taking a flyer on the dude But
No.
but I'm gonna give you credit.
And let me say this much.
I didn't think he was gonna be a bust, but I didn't think he was gonna be all that. And he's still not all that, but he's showing a good rapport with Russell Wilson, and he is a big play threat.
Russell Langston.
He's a big play threat right off the bat. So I got to give him credit for that.
You put Marquise Goodwin on one side and DK on the other. Your corners back up. It changes the spacing on the field.
Well, it's supposed to be that, but you got to talk to your boy Dante Pettis. He's not getting the job done over there.
Well, Dante is not as fast, and again, you got to use him.
He is fast, and he's doing zero. Nothing.
Well, we shall see. Right now, they're running the ball, so he might not need to do zero. He'll be available when they need him.
He's got to do something, or Debo is going to take his spot.
Well, that's possible.
Well, Debo plays the slot mostly, so you ain't got to worry about that. Yeah. But
I think Pettis will be okay. I think he'll be okay. I like him. He's not as fast as DK, but he's not bad. He's not bad. And as long as we stop. We already argued about this. Keep him from returning punts and kicks so he don't get hurt.
Geez.
He
hasn't returned any kicks yet? We got somebody else back there?
I think so, but I'll go back and double check. Okay. All right. So we went through our social media. Any further comments and or rants?
No, I'm going to let everybody live this week. We've got a good slate of games coming up. Can't wait.
Good slate of games. Okay. This is not exactly a rant, but it's kind of an observation. A lot of penalties being called. You got the new one with the pass interference and all of that. And again, overall concern is going to be the health of the quarterback. I've seen some bad calls on some sacks and knockdowns. Terrible. Bosa.
Yeah.
Rushing the quarterback last game, gets knocked to the ground, crawls to the quarterback, and wraps his arms around his ankles.
Can't do that.
And they call him for below the.
That's a penalty. It's difficult when his job is to get to the quarterback, and he's doing everything he possibly can to get to the quarterback. And he has nothing else on his mind but scratch and claw to get to the quarterback, only to be called for that penalty. Excuse me, but that's the Tom Brady rule.
He didn't hit him. He just wrapped him. Now,
I know what you're saying.
This is what I think, okay? If I ruled the world, the football world, if that's the situation and you are so concerned about the health of your quarterback, rather than call a penalty, why not end the grasp and stop the play? He is in the grasp.
So the quarterback still had the ball?
Yeah.
He hadn't thrown the ball?
No, I don't think so. No. It wasn't like he threw the ball and then he grabbed him around.
So did he take him down?
No, he just wrapped his arms around him. I don't even know if they...
So did the guy struggle and then throw it? I don't understand.
Basically, he got the ball off, but... And as a matter of fact, I have to go back because I was like, so
because that happened to Wentz.
That
he dropped to his knees and threw a pass.
I know.
His legs were tied.
That was a Wentz thing. One of the few things he does that most quarterbacks don't do. But I think they even didn't even take the penalty because he got the ball off.
Oh, he completed the pass.
It might have been. I might be wrong on that, but long story short, there was no hit there.
Okay.
All he did was try to wrap.
I understand what you're saying.
So I guess in order to comply with that rule, he would have had to literally get up and hit him in the chest area to be legal.
Or tried a little harder to get up off his hands and knees or however he was.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
Get him above the knees.
Right. He would have had to get up. He was literally sprawled out on the ground crawling.
Right. So he's trying to get a sack. And they got to call that though. There's no gray area. As in a lot of NFL rules. There's no gray area.
You say you saw some questionable calls.
I've seen the quarterback is getting hit and they're calling roughing the passer because the defensive player is landing on top of them.
Oh, that happened last
What
year,
do you
too.
want them to do?
That happened last year too.
Then I
matter
saw
of fact,
somebody get smashed and pummeled into the ground, and there was no call.
Browns had a couple calls like that.
Yes, Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Oh, it was horrible. I felt so bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want the guy to do? And he didn't even, if that's the one I'm remembering, he didn't even really hit and wrap and drive. He kind of hit and then, let him fall to the ground. He fell on top and then rolled off.
Can't fall on him. Yeah, no.
That's tough. And see, you want to say, make it a judgment call, let the refs put their heads together, but you can't really do that. Because then now you're questioning every call. So now they're trying to make it so that you got just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't get them below the knees. Just don't land on them. Now, how you're not going to let that happen,
in the collision
figure it out. Yeah, you figure it out. Because as soon as they let this one go and let that one go, you're going to see it more.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's my rant.
That's a good rant.
Thank you. A well thought out. Well, halfway thought out. We still got to check on whether he got that pass off and all of that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I understand the safety issue, and all of that. These guys are making a ton of money. As a matter of fact, one thing I will ask you real quick, and as you're looking at all of these quote guaranteed contracts that we talked about,
Yes,
a lot of guys getting hurt early on. You think this might impact some of the negotiation moving forward? Right now the big quarterback negotiation is Dak, who doesn't really get hurt.
hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't get hurt.
Whereas Wentz got paid.
And he
does get hurt.
He has a history.
He got a history.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that the guaranteed money is more along the lines of what we talked about a week or two ago, as far as more money being available in the next 5 or 6 years. And they're trying to lock some of these dudes down. And they don't mind giving them the guaranteed money to do it now, because later on, there's going to be so much more.
Yeah, they're fixing their costs now because they're looking for increased revenues in the very near future with expansion into Europe, that all of the transmission rights and things of that nature. All of the companies that are now bidding for access to the NFL's, programming, and then you add to that gambling.
I mean, yes, obviously when you're sitting in negotiations, if the player has had injuries, that subject's going to come up. When the agent and the GM are going back and forth, you got injuries or an injury history, that's going to come up.
They take me as an owner because everything would be incentive laden, and as long as you play laden and all that.
I think that's smart, actually, especially if a guy's got a history. You have to play a minimum of 12, 13 games in order to make $2 million more. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Or to get that guarantee, right? Complete that guarantee.
Well, again, I think the guarantee is the incentive to get the guys to sign now so that they don't have to sign later. But yeah.
That's also part of it.
That's all part of it, yeah.
Part of it. All right, that's all I got. Then you have anything?
Only thing I got is go Knowles.
Peace out.